Waste management, it's sometimes overlooked yet a crucial and costly piece of infrastructure in Bermuda. Now, rising inflation and a 40% increase in costs of materials to repair the Tynes Bay waste-to-energy facility will total around $250 million to fully refurbish the 30-year-old plant. Meantime, the Minister of Public Works is now calling on residents to be mindful of the amount of household waste produced. It's often out of sight, out of mind when it comes to household waste disposal. But we've been granted a closer look at how the aging facility that processes waste through incineration is in danger of failing at any moment's notice. Plant manager Nasir Wade, who oversees the 52 staff of engineers and operation workers at Tynes Bay, said time is running out.
Now that we're hitting the point of life expectancy coming to an end for most of our equipment, these timelines are much shorter and therefore put us at a much higher risk. Our site only has the capacity to store waste for about 3 weeks. Some of the instances that we've been in have almost lent itself to having to store waste at other sites or other places. And if we cannot rectify the situation in a short order, it can be pretty detrimental for the country.
The site, built in the early 90s, not only incinerates waste, but its energy supplies 6% of power sold to Belco, and the rest powers a water treatment site on North Shore Road.
We had one of our cranes fail last year significantly, so we're down to one crane. Those cranes take about a year just to manufacture, and then another 6 months to actually get it installed, and that's if it falls within our timeline of being able to meet the demands for capacity as well as do that refurbishment at the same time.
Staff operate the furnace burning at 900 degrees Fahrenheit 24 hours a day, which is fed using a mechanical claw. There are a myriad of problems that could arise, such as spontaneous fires or a backlog of waste that could end up at Marsh Folly.
We were not able to tap into our contingency equipment. Both boiler units failed at the same time that the bunker was at its maximum, and then our contingency equipment also failed at the same time, kind of a case of Murphy's Law. To put that on top of that, COVID was going on at that time, and we actually couldn't get the parts to fix our contingency equipment, and we ended up, after about 2 weeks of trying to think outside the box, we actually 3D printed the part here on island. So that showed the level of innovation that we're willing to go to. However, it's a thin line between operation and meeting our goals versus having to landfill.
Public Works Minister Lieutenant Colonel David Birch said a new business plan is now in development to find $250 million to fully replace the aging equipment. $22 million has already been spent by the government on stabilizing the plant.
It is a very complex and coordinated effort between those people who collect the trash and deliver it here and the work that is then being done here. I think the other thing that the public should be reminded of is that it's not just a facility for burning trash. We generate electricity, and it powers this entire plant, as well as the water treatment plant across the street on North Shore, as well as we sell electricity to Belco. So it's a profit-producing entity as well as a functioning one in terms of dealing with trash in the country.
Currently, excess waste is stored within these plastic bales at a nearby lot, which holds up to 3 weeks' worth of all the island's commercial and domestic waste. You might be wondering why the plant cannot be entirely replaced. Well, we're told that could cost in the range of $400 to $500 million. Labor representatives, businessmen, the retiring president